America, happy Friday. Welcome to the end of the week and the latest edition of Just the News. No noise. I'm your host, John Solomon, here in Washington. A lot of headlines. You can go check them out at Just the News today. But I want to just give a little bit, sometimes stepping back and understanding the impact of change is best done in numbers. I just want to throw a couple numbers out at you. 20, the number of percentage points that violent murders went down last year in America, 20%. 2, the number of dollars that the price of eggs went down since last year. Another one that's important, 435, the number of jihadi terrorists that have been killed in the first year under President Trump, which is more than the entire 4 years of the Biden presidency. And I'm going to give you another number because I think it's the next big number to come out of the administration. 2,000, the number of dollars that President Trump would like to give back to each family from his tariffs. It is hard to appreciate on 1 year and a week from the return of Donald Trump to the White House, how much has changed, Amanda. It is, man, there's another number, 12. The number of budget bills that the House finally got done. We haven't seen that in 2 decades. You were probably in grammar school the last time we did it right.
I do know how to build a budget. I love it. Yeah, John, you know, it's not just the numbers that have shifted. There's also a sentiment that has shifted. And today, I think is a perfect example. The March for Life happening this week throughout the city, and just the joyful nature of people who came to this. You know, in years past when Joe Biden was in office, you could feel the direness of the situation. Even though last year Roe v. Wade had already been overturned, people are still consistently battling in that fight to protect life. But this year, you know, as we've seen these events happening throughout the week and culminating on Sunday, as we were talking about last night with Frank Pavone, the fact that you've got a March for Life happening in San Francisco. I mean, it's just incredible to see that. And to me, it reflects a shift in sentiment in this country, even though you don't necessarily see it in some of these flashpoints like Minnesota. Overall, I think that Americans are feeling a lot better, and it's by the numbers, too. Yeah. All right, I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to ask you to come up with a number. The number of inches of snow Washington's going to get this weekend. Everybody's getting wild this weekend. Maybe in Alabama might get snow. I don't know. 8.5. 8.5 is a good number. I like that. I'm gonna go for 13. I'm going big. Go big or go home. Go big or go home. All right. You know, that's what Congress did. It went home finally for the first time in 2 decades by passing all of the budget bills, sending it to the Senate. Sets up a good situation for the American taxpayer. And by the way, some reductions in spending. We had a chance before Congress left town to talk to Congresswoman from the great state of Iowa, Marinette Miller Meeks. She was one of the advocates of getting those budget bills done. She was frustrated for years. Not anymore. Have a watch of what we talked about. All right, joining us now to talk about the extraordinary change in Congress. Yes, we got 12 budget bills through the process this year. We're going to have a real budget process for the first time in about 2 decades. Congresswoman for the great state of Iowa, Marinette Miller Meeks. Congresswoman, great to have you on the show.
It's great to be with you and Amanda.
I know it sounds like a lame sort of bureaucratic term, regular order budgeting, but it's so important for the American people to know what's in their budgets, that each of them get reviewed the right way, and that we get to priorities that match what they voted for. This time, Congress got it done.
Absolutely. It's the first time in decades that we have passed 12 single committee appropriations bills. They have Republican priorities and Republican policies. Of course, there's compromise because we don't have supermajorities. But I think it's most important to know this is not passing the Biden budget from before and putting in new spending levels. And what's important about that is that, your budget reflects the priorities that you have going forward. And you can't pare down spending or spend in a appropriate manner if you don't go through this. So regular order means it went, members visited with their constituents. It went through the appropriations process at the subcommittee level, at the committee level, then passed through the House, discussion through rules. And so that regular order is very important. It was a transparent process so people know what is in the budget, know what they're voting for. And I think it is a very important milestone, something that we have been trying to achieve long before I came into Congress, but we finally have done it. And this bill that we vote on tonight will be, I think, bipartisan again. I predicted that we would, in fact, pass all 12 and do it before January 30th. And then next week, when the Senate comes back, it'll be voted on in the Senate.
Right. Impressive. Well, and as John alluded to, I mean, this is a historic accomplishment because it's been a long time since Republicans or Democrats have been able to do this. Does this effectively make it shutdown proof so we don't have to worry about that?
Yes, it looks like that with the passage of these last appropriation bills, so these are the last four that we've been able to usher through in the last week, at least in the last week in the House. It will go to the Senate and then go to the president's desk. And so the government will be.
We're interrupting this program for a special live report.
Okay, good afternoon. We're breaking into our regularly scheduled program with Just the News to bring you extended coverage today of a special event happening right now at Fort Bragg in North Carolina. That's where RAV's own David Zier is live on the ground to give us a complete report. David, give us an idea of this ceremony that you're at right now and really how it empowers the vision of President Trump's America First agenda when it comes to our military.
Yeah, it's very important, Brian, and we've been crisscrossing the state all week, starting with the Freedom 250 event in Summerfield a few days ago and following the Senate race here. But also, we're at Fort Bragg, our nation's largest military base here, where we're here for the Joint Innovation Operations Center. It's called the Lieutenant General James Gavin Joint Innovation Center here at Fort Bragg to help deliver systems to warfighters at a breakneck pace. And General James Gavin was a paratrooper attached to the 3rd Brigade and was the youngest leader of the 18th Airborne Corps, which is based out of here, along with the 82nd Airborne. He was only 37 years old after he took control after World War II, served in Europe in World War II. But this falls in line, Brian, with Trump's defense acquisitions executive order that was codified by the National Defense Authorization Act and goes in line with the Pentagon's recent announcements for the new Naval Rapid Capabilities Office, the Army Capabilities Office, Rapid Capabilities, which started about a decade before, along with the Air Force, which started, I believe, in the early 2000s. But this is a system here where troops can compete in a competition called Dragon's Lair, getting things to the battlefield. I just got a demonstration from some airborne. These guys are the best. They talked about this little drone. They showed me this drone that packs up into a little case, attaches to paratroopers, and when they land on the ground, they're able to get aerial reconnaissance off the ground immediately before, the enemy even knows they're there. So this, again, falls in line with what's going on here, getting systems at speed and scale. And we're going to do a one-on-one interview with the officer in charge here when we're done, Colonel Monahan, who runs the Joint Innovation Center here. Really great moment for America and our military.
Yeah, President Trump often talks about rebuilding the military. We've seen what has happened over the years, not just in the woke policies, but in the investments of the technology. And David, you kind of spoke of it earlier. The technology in the field is so innovative that you've got to able to take an idea to the lab, get it tested, get it produced, and on the battlefield as soon as possible. Not only does that make us technologically the most advanced military in the world, but David, it can save lives as well.
Yeah, well, the key to this is cooperation with private industry. Like we had Ship OS from Palantir is going to build ships faster in partnership with the private sector, as the Naval Rapid Capabilities Office announced. And they're going to do the same thing here. A lot of North Carolina defense systems here, and they're building products, and they're doing it in cooperation with like Duke University and academia to put the greatest minds at work to face emerging real-time threats around the globe, Brian.
Yeah, real-time threats that need real-time and the best technology available. So give us an idea who is set to speak today at this event. I know you mentioned an individual that you'll get a one-on-one with later, but who else is on tap on this very special occasion?
Well, we're going to hear from Lieutenant General Gregory Anderson, who is the 18th Airborne Corps Commanding General. There's about 200,000 people involved with Fort Bragg down here. This place is massive here, and we're going to capture visuals of the programs here at the Joint Innovation Center. There'll be a couple of other speakers here, but again, we're going to get some one-on-one FaceTime with the officers here, and everybody's been so accommodating here. And I'm talking to the soldiers on the ground who are working personally on these products. And this Dragon's Lair competition is really cool. These guys have a competition coming up, I believe, in May or June, where they're developing all kinds of things. I just saw a housing that acts as, protection for electronic signals, and it was a simple plastic housing where they can house these sensitive communication devices, but still communicate with each other in the field. The enemy can't penetrate it, and that was developed, here on the ground, I believe, in North Carolina, in concert with the 18th Airborne.
As you travel around, you mentioned the Celebrate 250. It's been an ongoing, really celebration that started last year. We had the big military parade, which was spectacular there at our nation's capital. And as we have these events around the country, what are you hearing some of the feedback from the people you meet out on Main Street, USA, in regards to not only the celebration, but our military being, stronger than ever? What's some of the feedback you've gotten from everyday Americans?
Well, it's great, especially here in North Carolina. So we were at the Revolution Academy, a K-9 school, where these kids got to tour one of these 6 mobile museum freedom trucks that were built right here by Spevco in North Carolina, and they did a kickoff tour the other day with Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy and Keith Sonderling, the Undersecretary of Labor, along with Hillsdale College and PragerU Kids. And I interviewed these kids K-8. It's on Breaking Point tomorrow. They were just phenomenal. They're learning about our founding fathers and our history. Unlike the Minnesota School District, we gave the kids off so they grow up hating Trump and hating ICE, so they could go protest. There's a lot of patriotism on the ground here, and it's really nice to see. And the parents who send their kids to the school were excited, and some of them had spouses who were deployed overseas and wanted to get them into a private charter school where they learn about family and values. And we were on the ground last week with Scott Besson in Minnesota at a local Catholic school, K-12, and he talked to them about financial responsibility and starting investing at a young age. And they also do that at this place, the Revolutionary Academy in Summerfield, where the kickoff of this mobile museum tour. So there's like an emergence of some patriotism, accountability for the future, and maybe some hope. Got to keep it alive.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. We got to keep it alive. It's interesting how the enrollment for across all branches of our military is up as soon as President Trump took office and as soon as Pete Hegseth's Secretary of War got in place. They have really brought the spirit of America back to the youth, wanting to serve our country. And I think that is so important, especially when you look at an event like today, in terms of how it can bring the best technology to the battlefield.
There's no doubt about that, and recruitment levels are up. We covered the Army Parade in D.C., and from that point on, that was a recruitment event as well, right, to get people interested in serving their country again. Recruitment levels have been through the roof, and it's nice to see, and they're getting rid of the DEI and the other stuff that's been a distraction, and Pete Hegseth is leading the charge under Trump's, again, Defense Acquisition Executive Order that wants to deliver stuff at speed and scale in partnership with private industry, so we can face these real-time threats. A very threatening environment out there, and we need to be rapid deployment and global so we don't get stuck in long-term quagmires.
There you go. If you're just now joining us, special coverage today. Just the News is being temporarily preempted for this special coverage. We have David Zier on the ground there at Fort Bragg. We're glad you're joining us on this Friday afternoon. Now, David, there's been so much in the news as of lately, the last month or so. A lot of foreign escalations. You got the development down in Venezuela. Of course, you have a lot of you still have the Ukraine-Russia tensions. You've got Greenland's a conversation. When you talk to people as well, what's their thoughts right now on what we just saw in Davos, President Trump delivering a very much America First message? I often said, David, that he kicked over the apple cart on the old world order, and I believe he's ushering in what you could describe as a new world order. Your take on that?
Yeah, and it's a new era, and especially in Greenland with the Golden Dome systems, and I might be interviewing Space Force the Space Force commander next week, and other people.
Do we have some speakers
started
right
here
now
at the event? So I'm going to have
Okay,
to
let's go
go
ahead
to
and-
the stage, Brian. Okay.
Okay.
For Fort Bragg, for North Carolina and the local community, and for our Army, and we'll talk a little bit about that. I do, though, want to introduce some of the amazing people in here in particular, so that you know, after we break up here and head up to socialize, you all can get a chance to get to know each other. So obviously, first and foremost, we have from our local congressman, Representative Rich Hudson. Thank you, sir, for coming to that. Thank you. General retired Garrett, obviously a huge friend of Fort Bragg, and sir, thank you for coming. Thank you. Okay, from North Carolina, Senator Applewhite. There's Senator Applewhite. You'll get through the down, okay, and then we have Representative Diane Wheatley. Ma'am, thank you. Also from North Carolina, Representative Francis Jackson. Lieutenant from former FORSCOM, which is now, for those of you who had December, to United States Army Western Hemisphere Command, Lieutenant General Steve Smith. Steve, thanks for coming. And from our Army's Science Acquisition, Logistics and Technology, our ASALT team up there at the Army staff, down from the Army, and one of the kind of the visionaries for this JIOP and how we do business, Major General Chris Snyder. Chris, good to see you. And we've got some other guests here, but we're going to pause right here on Miss Chloe Gavin, the daughter of General James Gavin, and who is not just this outpost here, but wired by her father and what he meant to the airborne community in World War II, and kind of how we're moving forward with his kind of warrior spirit, determination, tenacity to make changes and to do things better and more efficiently. Chloe, please come up if you would, please.
Thank you. I was here in November 25, and it's a great pleasure to be, no, November 24, excuse me. And it's a great pleasure to be here, and I'm really looking forward to going upstairs or walking around and seeing all the projects that are underway here. On behalf of the Gavin family, I want to thank you for naming this innovation post after my father. Most of you know him as an outstanding combat leader, but when he joined the Airborne, it was completely new, and everything they did had to be figured out and made up. He also, after the war, was the head of research and development at the Pentagon, and was instrumental in having the Army develop this program. He pushed for the use of helicopters to create mobile troop movements. And after he retired from the Army, he led a scientific research and management consulting firm in Cambridge, Mass., and continued to be interested and involved in research and development for the rest of his life. He would be beyond thrilled to see what's going on here. And I know he is happy where he is and very pleased, and the whole Gavin family says thank you for opening this post in his name. Thank you.
So we also have a lot of academic partners in here tonight. We'll be very, very much involved and integrated here into the work that's done. So for Chancellor Allison from Fayetteville State, sir, thank you for coming, sir. We also have Dr. Mark Sorrells from Fayetteville Tech. I don't know if he's able to get in. He may be coming later. And then we also have reps from UNC Charlotte and Chapel Hill, Duke, the United States Military Academy at West Point, and Campbell University. So teams, thank you for coming. Last person I'd like to introduce is the brains behind the design of this. And one of our architects here at the garrison at Fort Bragg is Ingrid. Are you here, ma'am? Ingrid Fullerton, please. Come on up. Okay, to kind of get us in the mode here with my comments on and kind of what this place means and how we're going to approach business. Let's start with some quote in Albert Einstein. There's a lot of good quotes from Albert Einstein, but one of my favorites is, "You can't solve your problems using the same thinking you use to create your problems." And so that's step one. It's going to kind of govern how we do business here. The other one, which sets the tone for why are we so excited about innovation. Everybody's familiar with Darwin's, law of natural selection, right? It's not the strongest species that survives. It's the one that adapts most quickly, most ably. There's the ones that survive. Strongest right now, but we can't sit on our laurels. The environment's now. Technology at orders of magnitude right now at a pace that few of us are having trouble, or most of us are having trouble keeping up with. The global security environment is signaling us right now. The conflicts worldwide, and seeing the advances in proliferation of technology and how others are using them on the battlefield. So we're getting all the signals we need to kind of get the wake-up call. We better start innovating, continue innovating at speed, at scale, and across all the echelons in the Joint Force. And that's what this place is about here in the Joint Innovation Outpost. Innovation is not a buzzword. It's not a new idea. Just like you heard Chloe Gavin describing how her father helped, not just during the war, but what the work he did after the war, is because innovation is central to the military profession. Those who innovate better than others win, and history is replete with examples of that. The one that comes to my mind when you look at right before World War II, the innovation that was going on between the French and the Germans. They both had tanks, they both had large armies, artillery, all that stuff. The French decided, actually the French had more and better tanks by quality as you rate a tank. The Germans had a problem to solve, and so they organized their tanks differently, but what they did is they put radios in their tanks. The French did not, and they learned how to communicate and move information rapidly and faster than their opponent, and then they were more agile, and they could adapt to changes on the battlefield more quickly. Simple innovation, put a radio in a tank, and then learn how to it changed an outcome of a nation. And so innovation matters at every level, and it takes a whole team to do it. There's no magic innovation wizard that's going to come and sprinkle, success on us. It's hard work, it's thinking, it's grit, and that's what this place is designed to do and is set up to do. 18th Airborne Corps, we're the global contingency response force for the United States. We know we will deploy with little to no warning. We've got people standing up right now on 12-hour reaction time to deploy wherever we're needed to go. And we don't even know what in many cases, we won't know what we're going into. So that's why we have an urgency for innovation. We can't wait for industry to take 5 years with acquisition processes and regulations and to come out with something maybe in 5 years we'll get. There's a lot's going to happen between now and those 5 years. We can't wait, and we can't wait for the speed of our current systems. The idea for this innovation outpost and the culture that's inherent within the 18th Corps started with General Kurilla back in about 2020. He saw how soldiers we're going to need new equipment for the transition as we transition out of Iraq and Afghanistan to what lay ahead and what still lies ahead for us. He saw that we were going to have to solve a lot of our own problems and put the innovation spirit of paratroopers and soldiers, all ranks and levels, and to put that energy and that enthusiasm, that ingenuity, that Dragon's Lair piece there that you saw coming in the entrance, his creation, and he got this building started. General Donahue kept it up. Obviously, a ton of innovation in data-centric warfare, using AI and live data and algorithms to be able to see and see the situation more clearly and make decisions faster than the enemy. What he did was akin to putting radios in tanks, and so he kept that up. And so we've had some momentum here. I don't know what I'm going to bring to this piece, but I'll tell you, we're bringing a campaign plan and a direction, and we're out 3 or 4 years in the innovation tasks that we're going after, and you'll get a sense of that tonight. It's planned out now. Another famous quote from Abe Lincoln, one of my favorite: "If you want to predict the future, invent it, make it." And that's here on the innovation side, and we're pretty excited. Well, so we have this plan. Schneider and the ASALT team come down. We invite them to one of our core leader forums, and we show them, like, guys have a plan to innovate, and they're out on a longer time horizon. They're a couple years out. This is awesome. Can we come bring our acquisition and processes and expertise, our contracting mechanisms, and kind of our authorities, requirements to fielding, to actually fielding into the formations? And we're like, what a partnership. How fast can you get here? How about next month? I think it was about a month, Chris. And Tom Monahan, our director. Tom, would you stand up? Here's our director of the Joint Innovation Outpost, Acquisition. We pulled Tom out of command, and he was down in Orlando. You'd probably like to be down there this weekend, I'm sure. But we pulled him out of Orlando to come join us, and he's the one kind of putting this all together, along with our Chief Technology Officer, Mr. Rob Braun. If you don't get it, Rob, if you could stand up too, please. The ones who'll be driving this train here are those two gentlemen right there, Tom and Rob. So please get a chance to see them tonight once we break here. So we've got this plan, we've got this structure. We're going to unleash the power of the 18th Corps, North Carolina academics, and North Carolina industry, and we're going to make the Army and the Joint Force better. It's already happened. It's actually already happening. It's been happening for a few months now, and we're about to pour gas on it. The whole thing is our people are our greatest strength, and there's not even a close second. And we haven't harnessed them right. We're going to do it now and unleash that potential. And it is very, very exciting to see what this innovation ecosystem here in North Carolina is going to do. There's no better proving ground to get this work done than Fort Bragg. So team, come join us. Let's get this started. Airborne all the way. Thanks.
Thanks, Gavin. Today marks a pivotal moment for Fort Bragg, 18th Airborne Corps, and the state of North Carolina. Governor Josh Stein was unable to join us this evening, but in recognition of this historic event, to share this message.
Good evening. I'm Josh, Governor. I want to say thank you to Lieutenant General Anderson and U.S. Representative Richard Hudson for your words this evening. And I want to congratulate everyone on the opening of the Joint Innovation Outpost. North Carolina is proud of our strong ties to the military. We're home to more than 90,000 active duty military personnel, the fourth most of any state in the country. And Fort Bragg is the most populated military base in this country. Making the choice to serve in the military is a sacrifice. You all have stepped up for all of us, which is why our state is committed to stepping up for you. Over the past year, I'm proud to have signed into law 4 different bills that help military spouses more easily transition into new jobs and communities, aid military parents enrolling their kids in public school, and help military students afford tuition. Because when you all succeed, we all succeed. We can't keep using the same script for how we respond to modern challenges. We have to constantly adapt. At the state level, I'm proud of our whole of government approach to supporting service members and veterans. And with that same spirit, I applaud the creators of the Joint Innovation Outpost. The Outpost represents exactly the kind of forward-thinking partnership that we need to meet the challenges of today and tomorrow. You're bringing together military leaders, researchers, engineers, and entrepreneurs. You're giving experts a place to ask mission-critical questions and receive differing perspectives. And you're bridging between cutting-edge technology and real-world operational needs. I believe that this innovation outpost will solidify North Carolina's place at the forefront of military services, technology, and innovation. So I congratulate all of you again on today's launch. Now, to see that history brought to us at this moment and the mission of the Joint Innovation Outpost in action, let's take a look at this special presentation.
Major General James Gavin, 38-year-old West Pointer and youngest division commander in the U.S. Army, stands by with you, waiting for his division's last H-hour in World War II.
Historically, the U.S. Army has prevailed because of leaders willing to rethink how we operate to move faster than the adversary. No leader embodied that mindset better than Lieutenant General James Gavin. As a young commander in World War II, Gavin reshaped airborne warfare. He rejected rigid thinking, trusted initiative at the lowest level, and demanded adaptability in the face of uncertainty. Known as the Jumping General, he led from the front, parachuting into combat alongside his paratroopers. Gavin understood that victory belonged to those who anticipated change, embraced new technology, and empowered soldiers to innovate under pressure. His legacy is not just courage, but unyielding forward thinking. That same spirit inspired the Lieutenant General James Gavin Joint Innovation Outpost. The JIOP is a joint force hub designed to move innovation at operational speed. It connects warfighters, industry, and academia to solve real problems where friction meets reality. Here, emerging technologies like AI, robotics, cyber capabilities, and advanced logistics are rapidly prototyped, tested, and pushed forward. The focus is to shorten the distance from idea to impact by integrating division innovation labs and linking warfighters directly with acquisition partners. This is how the JIOP will turn operational insight into decisive capability. And this is how we honor Gavin's legacy, by staying ahead of the fight. Welcome to the Lieutenant General James Gavin Joint Innovation Outpost.
Thank you to Governor Stein. We're also grateful to our elected officials serving in our nation's capital who are powerful advocates for Fort Bragg, including the JIOP. We are honored to be joined tonight by Congressman Richard Hudson and now invite him to share his thoughts on tonight's celebration.
Well, thank you so much for that warm welcome. It is a thrill to be back here at Fort Bragg. It is my honor, really, of my entire life to be able to say I'm Fort Bragg's congressman, and that's a responsibility I take very seriously, and I try to earn it every single day. I'm just thrilled to be here for the opening of Lieutenant General James M. Gavin Joint Innovation Outpost. It's great that this is finally coming to fruition. Representing the men and women of Fort Bragg is such an honor for me. And when we are leading and we're a new innovation like this, it's exciting to carry that ball and to be in the halls in Congress, explain to my colleagues why this money is important, why this investment is important. And so I'm just thrilled to be here. I want to thank you, General Anderson. I'm just grateful for your extraordinary leadership, visionary leadership. You sort of asked a rhetorical question: what are you going to bring to this long line of warfighters who've served as the commanding general? And I'm sure when the pages are written in the history books of your service here, it's going to be extraordinary as well. And I'm honored to know you and work with you. Thank you to Major General Schneider and Rob Braun and Colonel Monahan and all those who had a hand in bringing this to fruition today. It's really an honor to have you here with us. And it's great to see so many folks. I look across this audience, you've got industry partners. I see Scott Lampe from Hendrick Motorsports, who works with GM Defense. There's so many different folks. I'm gonna get in trouble because if I start naming some and don't name others. But then you look at all the academia. My alma mater, UNC Charlotte's represented here. Our great Chancellor of Fayetteville State, Chancellor Allison. You're doing incredible things, and you're taking care of our men and women in uniform. And I appreciate everything you're doing. But it's great to see folks from industry and academia and joining, locking arms with our military. And it's great to see all the local elected officials, state elected officials. I see our chairman of our county commission in Cumberland, Kirk DeVere. Great to see you here, sir. Mayor Harris from Whispering Pines. I mean, there's folks from all across the region who are invested and care because their constituents serve here. And it's our job as the elected officials of this area to take care of them and take care of their families. So it's great to see so many folks here. And Chloe Gavin, thank you for honoring us with your presence. It's really a thrill to have you here. And it's just so fitting to have this facility named after your dad. It was great to talk to you a little bit about that. And I did a little reading up on him. We know Jumpin' Jim. We know he's the man. This guy's a legend. Not only the youngest person ever commanded, but I think he's still the only general officer to do 4 combat jumps. I mean, that's pretty awesome. But his legacy as an innovator, as head of research and development for the Army after World War II, the things that you talked about, the things in the video, he really believed in this idea of continuing to innovate, continuing to advance. As General Anderson said, we don't ever want our guys in a fair fight, our guys and gals. We don't ever want them in a fair fight. We want to always have that edge. And this center is going to make sure that's the case. Fort Bragg's always been a place where standards are high and commitment to mission is absolute. But fundamental to this mission is the ability for men and women here to innovate and adapt and to meet the challenges of the day. When a problem shows up in a training or a deployment, you need a solution that works and you need it fast. And that's what this Joint Innovation Outpost is all about. This outpost is a commitment to shorten the distance between a soldier's need and a real capability that we can reach them in the field. It's soldiers' feedback turned into improvements that are tested, refined, and delivered quickly. That's what it's all about. And what makes this model especially powerful is it puts the right people together in one place. The warfighters, the acquisition leaders, the industry partners, the researchers. It removes barriers, it shortens timelines, and helps close the capabilities gap before they become a risk on the battlefield. And that's really what it's all about, is how do we buy down those risks. The character of warfare has changed. It's changing every day. Things like unmanned systems, artificial intelligence, quantum computers, it's becoming a defining feature of the modern conflict. And I'm proud that Fort Bragg is leading the charge in this new space because, frankly, our men and women here are going to be the ones leading as the tip of the spear. And so let's make sure we're the ones leading with the innovation as well. The job also strengthens the culture of innovation across the entire force. Programs like Dragon's Lair give service members a platform to pitch solutions from the field. Promoting programs like this and empowering warfighters to innovate is how you build an army that adapts faster than our adversaries. In Washington, it's my job to make sure Fort Bragg has what it needs to stay ready, to get the job done. That includes supporting programs that move at the speed of the mission. That includes securing millions of dollars for innovation programs and infrastructure upgrades here. You might have seen Congress got their work done this week. I think for the first time since 2006, we actually passed our spending bills. A little late, but done. And getting that defense bill done this week was really important. We delivered another 3. That's good. I feel kind of sheepish saying 3.8. All right, it ought to be 30.8, but we're continuing to chip away, and having a consistent pay raise every year is important. And we provided billions of dollars to support innovation in the defense probes, and it's all about what can we do to improve, what can we do to innovate, and what can we do to support the quality of life for our men and women and their families. The package we passed this week ensures our military remains the most lethal in the world, and that our soldiers have the equipment, training, and support they need. So tonight, I just want to say thank you. Thank you to the leaders who pushed this forward. Thank you to the partners who invest in your time and your expertise. And most of all, thank you to our soldiers and their families here at the center of the universe in Fort Bragg. This installation is already the most important place in the United States Army, in my opinion. But with the Joint Innovation Outpost, it becomes an even stronger engine for the next generation of capability and deterrence. So congratulations on this milestone. Honor to be here with you to celebrate it. Again, I'm Fort Bragg's Congressman. God bless you. God bless sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Congressman. We're also grateful for our partners in academia, and I ask that you join me in giving a warm welcome to the Chancellor of Fayetteville State University, Chancellor Darrell Allison.
Well, good evening. I am the proud Chancellor, Darrell Allison of Fayetteville State University. And first, I would like to express my gratitude and congratulations to all who made the James M. Gavin Joint Innovation Outpost possible. As a facility specifically designed to accelerate high-impact innovation through collaboration across military, academia, and the private sector, this outpost is an excellent embodiment of the innovation spirit that infuses the 18th Airborne Corps. And as we know, innovations like these begin and end with leadership. And so I would like to offer a special note of appreciation to the following. Congressman Richard Hudson, thank you. Now, our relationship goes back 2 decades or more. And I have your invaluable leadership, the idea that it's here in Fort Bragg. I mean, it's 400 plus of you across the country. So the idea that we have Richard Hudson here for Fort Bragg all these years, fighting for us, advocating for us, and delivering for us. I know I'm not the only one who believes this. We couldn't have anybody better. Agree? We thank you. We thank you. Thank you, General Anderson, and for your leadership team. And we thank you for the vision. And you mentioned the vision of your predecessors, and we appreciate General Carrilla and General Donahue, and we appreciate vision. All can agree that we thank this general for bringing the vision to life. And that is what we're here witnessing, the vision being brought to life. So we thank you, General Anderson, and your leadership team for bringing it to life. So thank you for adding the new capabilities to implement the innovations that will be developed here at the speed our war fighters need to defend and to win against threats present and future. I would also like to acknowledge my colleague, Dr. Mark Searles, president of Fayetteville Tech Community College, for the continued work we do advancing education to our communities local and abroad, and helping to build a strong force designed to be a part of the 18th Airborne Innovation ecosystem, as the support is one of the most important strategic priorities for our university. through the intentional strategies such as specialized training for transforming soldiers through the Career Skills Program, through free tuition available for military-affiliated students. Our enrollment of military-affiliated students has grown over 40% just over the 4 years, surpassing more than 2,500 students of our 7,600 students, now representing 34% of our total student population. In February 2025, just about a year now, a historic commitment we made to further deepen our support of the military mission by signing an education partnership agreement between Fayetteville State University and 18th Airborne. Since the signing of that agreement, Fayetteville State faculty and staff have examined challenges being faced across multiple military domains. Our team has responded to those challenges with work that has the potential to improve AI-enabled assessments of our adversaries and has the potential to expand the leading-edge training available to our soldiers. In implementation of our collaborative partnership agreement, and thanks to the 18th Airborne, Fayetteville State University has, for example, worked with Fort Bragg to design new architectures in support of AI data-centric algorithmic warfare. 2, Fayetteville State University will join Innovation Outpost staff to identify expanded training opportunities, and check this out, is partnered with 18th Airborne Centers of Excellence, translating professionals' military education into more than 2,000 equivalent academic courses, aligned with 21 military occupations. This will enable soldiers to reduce the time needed to get their bachelor's degree by up to 75%. In other words, Fayetteville State University, 18th Airborne, Fort Bragg, we've been working, Congressman. And at the same time, through this accelerated degree completion, we are helping our military partners enhance soldier readiness, promotion, retention, post-service. As we see this just as the beginning. Again, Fayetteville State University sincerely appreciates the opportunity to support the military community with 18th Airborne and other ecosystem partners here to help enable the rapid, effective innovation our soldiers need. Thank you and God bless.
We'd ask now for the president of Fayetteville Technical Community College, Dr. Mark Sorrells, to join us.
So good evening, General Anderson, all of our distinguished guests. This is a great evening. It's an honor to be here to see this with the 18th of this community, the soldiers, and the individuals that are here this evening. To be the president of Fayetteville Technical Community College, to have great partners like Fayetteville State University and great supporters from the county, the state of North Carolina. I see Representative Wheatley here, as well as from our federal government. And we're excited to be here to help out and talk to you a little bit about how Fayetteville Tech has partnered with the 18th Airborne, America's Contingency Corps, and the tip of the spear for our nation's rapid response capability. At Fayetteville, partnership with the Corps as a force multiplier. Together, we're building capabilities that enhance readiness on the battlefield and resilience here at home. Our mission is simple: provide the talent, technology, and training that strengthen the warfighter and support the community that sustains this installation. One of the clearest examples of that partnership is the work we did with the 18th Airborne on Project Pathfinder. Students directly supported the Corps' intelligence enterprise by conducting data labeling operations to help train an AI system capable of identifying intelligence indicators from geospatial imagery. This wasn't theoretical work. It was real-world ISR support that improves targeting, speeds, decision-making cycles, and enhanced situational awareness for soldiers downrange. We're applying that same operational mindset to the cyber domain, today's contested battle space. Through the Carolina Cyber Network, Fayetteville Tech is developing a highly skilled cyber workforce capable of defending our community, our state, and our nation. Our partnership with the North Carolina Department of Information Technology places students in year-long rotations. Many of them, 65% of the students in that particular program, are veterans or military dependents. Right now, we have 19 interns with the state of North Carolina that are working year-long paid internships, 4 more in security operations, that are actively protecting North Carolina's digital terrain. These students are not training for cyber warfare. They are actively protecting our state against attacks. But readiness is not just about national defense. It's also about sustaining the force and the families who support it. Cumberland County faces a growing requirement for affordable quality housing, and Fayetteville Tech is responding. We're building a brand new building trades program facility on Fort Bragg, 22,000 square feet, that will help meet that demand. We will be increasing all of our programs, HVAC, plumbing, carpentry, as well as our electrical programs to help build housing all across Fayetteville and Cumberland County. We're producing that skilled technician that's needed to build and maintain the infrastructure that supports our military community. We're also preparing to open a $21 million CDL driving range, complete with a 17-acre driving pad with diesel mechanic bays for MRO operations. With an estimated 80,000 commercial drivers needed nationwide, this facility will help close a critical skills gap that is essential for a resilient national supply chain. We're proud to be partnering with the Army also to train drivers who will support mobility requirements here on Fort Bragg. Looking ahead, Fayetteville Tech is expanding into capabilities that align with the Army's modernization priorities. We're growing programs in digital modeling, additive manufacturing, programming, and maintenance of robots and unmanned aircraft. Technologies that are reshaping sustainment, intelligence, and operational maneuver. These programs will ensure the next generation of soldiers and civilians are trained on systems that will define future conflicts. Pipeline begins early. We're also establishing STEM labs for our middle and high school students, creating that level of awareness, as well as creating young mentoring pathways in health sciences, advanced manufacturing, engineering, digital modeling, defense contracting, AI, cybersecurity, and others. We're shaping the future force before they put on a uniform or before they step into a classroom. To the soldiers of the 18th Airborne, your mission drives our work. Your readiness challenges us to innovate, and your service strengthens our resolve to be the responsive partner you deserve. Fayetteville Tech is proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with you, enhancing capabilities, strengthening community, and supporting the warfighter at every level. Thank you, General Anderson, of the 18th Airborne, for your continued partnership.
Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Management, Office of the Assistant Secretary of the Army for Acquisition, Logistics and Technology, Major General Christopher Schneider.
You did better than I did on my title. Thank you. So everybody, on behalf of Honorable Ingraham, we want to say thank you, sir, for letting us be a part of your team. This is a huge opportunity. I want to talk about really 3 points tonight. I want to provide some context, talk about alignment, and then really talk about commitment. So when you start thinking about what the JIOP is in the context of how the Army today is transforming, the JIOP is the face of the entire Army's nation. And it's not even close. And I'll get into a little bit of that. It is no mistake, there's no doubt that our military has a history. George Washington was leading this Army to today, that part of our overmatch has been how our soldiers and leaders innovate. I remember a time when Captain Schneider and Lieutenant Colonel Garrett were in this same building. And Miss Ferguson, he did an amazing job. It wasn't this nice when General Garrett and I were here before. And to think that this place now is going to lead the Army in terms of how we transform, there isn't a better place to do it. We just talked about what General Gavin does or did, and how he innovates and how we have a legacy of that here at Fort Bragg. And if you've served in this formation, you've served around this formation, everybody knows this is the right place to happen. You start talking about context. So the Secretary of War and the Secretary to go ahead and transform how we deliver capability to our military. And it's a complex system, and we have gotten away from our roots. And there's lots of reasons, and I won't get into the stovepipes and the processes before, but I will tell you that it was all built about being risk averse, not about being risk informed. And as soon as you let your subordinate leaders operate in a risk informed environment versus a risk averse, the magic that we used to have, the overmatch we used to have in terms of our ability to innovate becomes real. And today I will tell you that this idea about risk informed innovation is going to happen here. We're changing everything about how we field capability of the Army, how we resource, how we task organize, who we prioritize, who's in charge, and leaders are in charge. Everybody else around them in this modernization enterprise is there to support and be the lead blocker for those commanders. And the JIOP should be one of the first examples of that commitment, which is the third bullet. Next, many of you may not appreciate what's happening across the department. And we're not just talking about innovation. We're not just outfitting a new building. Is committing hundreds of millions, almost $1 billion to efforts just like this. So it's not talk. It's bigger than a vision. We're actually going to put it into practice. We're putting folks, cross-functional teams with the right skill sets at the right place to innovate at the edge and to enable that risk-informed innovation. And so what I hope you see today is just like the beginning of re-baselining how we modernize. We've done it really well for a long time with great equipment, but right now it's too expensive, late to need. This is going to be one of the processes that will truly pathfind for not the Army, but for the Department of War. And so the context of you guys are all here tonight celebrating the JIOP. This is much bigger than just the JIOP. The JIOP, though, will be the face of Army transformation, and that I believe is shared by all the senior leaders in the Army today. Two, I'll talk about alignment. I've been doing this business for a little bit in terms of an acquisition dude, and I have never seen the kind of alignment from private to the commander-in-chief to get this right. It's not about who's getting credit. We have alignment in places I've never seen. From every private, captain, sergeant, lieutenant colonel, colonel, general officer, and secretariat leadership, they are all aligned to get it right. And if we don't, The consequences, as we all know, are significant. The rate of technology and the level of integration, not only at scale, but at echelon, is absolutely necessary for us to win. If we don't have that, the sheer mass that we will have to deal with will not be overcome. So from an alignment perspective, there isn't a better time to do what we're doing today in the JIOP. And lastly, I will tell you commitment. Everybody in this room needs to remain committed to make this successful. There's going to be lots of reasons why
students afford tuition. Because when you all succeed, we all succeed. We can't keep using the same script for how we respond to modern challenges.
Chief Technology Officer, Mr. Rob Braun, and a giant pair of scissors. To officially open the Joint Innovation Outpost. Ladies and gentlemen, this officially concludes tonight's ceremony. We invite you now to join us on stage in the ballroom in the Winter Civic Center. Thank you for celebrating this historic occasion with us today.
Welcome back, everybody. You're watching this special edition of Stinchfield as they open up this new center at Fort Bragg. We will continue to keep an eye on that. But right now, I want to begin Stinchfield. And let me tell you something. If you thought the lies of the left couldn't get any worse, have you heard about this story with this 5-year-old boy? This picture is going viral on social media. It is of a 5-year-old boy, the son of an illegal alien. If you listen to the leftist media will somehow want you to believe that ICE kidnapped that little boy and detained that little boy, used him as bait, that little boy. But none of that happened. I'll get into that in a moment. None of it happened. Just watch this.
Growing outrage in Minneapolis, the images of a 5-year-old boy returning home from preschool, detained by ICE. Agents taking the boy and his father into custody. Vice President J.D. Vance in Minneapolis today defending ICE agents, claiming they were protecting the child, saying, what are they supposed to do? Matt Rivers in Minneapolis again tonight.
Tonight, the haunting images sparking a firestorm. A preschool boy standing in the Minnesota cold, swept up in the ICE crackdown.
You hear the drama? Haunting images? Do you know what's haunting? The father, this guy, an illegal alien from Ecuador, ran from ICE agents who were trying to detain him and left his kid behind in the driveway. One agent stayed behind while the other agents went and captured that man. They stayed behind to take care of that little boy. They even tried to return him home, but they wouldn't let him in the door. No one would open the door. So you know what these agents did? They took him to McDonald's. But if you listen to the leftist mainstream media that is literally weaponizing the fake news of the Democrats, you would get a completely different story. This is Anna Navarro.
The fact that ICE used a 5-year-old boy, Liam Ramos, detained a 5-year-old boy to bait his father into coming out. The fact that ICE barged into the house of an elderly U.S. citizen and dragged him out of the shower in Minneapolis in his underwear in 14-degree weather. So if you want accountability, you need to get this rage, channel it to...
Lies. Again, it's fake news. And so, yeah, the dopes will believe it and take to the streets, and that is what is happening. I want you to listen to how ICE describes what happened.
After conducting the arrest, my officers stayed with the child. They cared for him, took him to get something to eat from a drive-through restaurant, and spent hours ensuring he was taken care of. Again, my officers did that, not his father. My officers did everything they could to reunite him with his family. Tragically, when we approached the door of his residence, the people inside refused to take him in and open the door.
What reason would that gentleman have to lie about all of this? None. You're here illegally. Under this administration, you're going to have to look behind your shoulder. Look over it. ICE may be coming. And that means, you know what? Your kids, you better find a place for them. ICE took care of this little boy, humanely, compassionately, taking him to McDonald's, for crying out loud. Yet you have this Democratic congresswoman from Minnesota, Angie Craig. Listen to this.
So now ICE is using a 5-year-old boy. A 5-year-old boy. They took him and used him to lure his father out. You can look at this 5-year-old and actually with a straight face still support and be silent in the face of what the Trump administration and Kristi Noem is doing. I just can't even believe this is America.
I can't even believe you're a congresswoman and so dumb to not realize you're being duped, unless you're pushing the propaganda on us on purpose, which that probably would make a lot more sense. Now, the corporate media is simply running this fake news on behalf of Democrats. Do you remember when President Trump, just a few days ago, was holding up the pictures of these illegal aliens who were accused of some of the most heinous things, rape of children, murder, burglary, going into somebody's house and taking their things? Awful, awful crimes. This is how NBC News played it.
He's been holding photos of people he says are undocumented immigrants, in his words, illegal aliens, who have committed crimes in Minnesota. I want to bring in our senior White House correspondent, Gabe Gutierrez. Gabe, we don't know really anything about these people. We've seen some of their images, but we don't have their names yet. We hope at some point the White House will tell us who he's talking about. But this was new to everyone that was covering this news conference today.
Well, Tom, look, this is the White House trying to make a case.
You're accusing the President of the United States of lying about who the people are in the photos? If you'd go to a news conference and cover it honestly, that ICE holds, or Greg Bovino, one of the chiefs out on the streets, holds, they talk about who they're arresting on a daily basis, and they're very, very bad people. Now, if you look, thanks to our friends over at the Media Research Center, take a look at this. They did a study, 93% of the leftist media, all they do is hammer ICE. 93% of the coverage has been negative. Negative. I want to bring in now managing editor over at Newsbusters at the Media Research Center. Curtis Houck is back with us. Curtis, welcome to the program.
Good to be with you, my friend.
Curtis, it was bad before this 5-year-old story, but today it got out of control. Right. Your thoughts on what we're seeing out there?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I'm still crunching the numbers right now for Newsbusters, but through this morning, we were at over 10 minutes of coverage on this little boy alone, whereas we're only about 4 minutes and change through this morning when it came to the anti-ICE mob storming a church. So you can definitely tell there where the priorities are. And in the coverage, they've continued to use that bait word because the awfuls that seem to run the school district, all the people that were talking, other than the attorney, you notice, are all middle-aged, raging white women. They claimed they used the bait word, and of course that's thoroughly been debunked. Even the Washington Post has ran a correction in one of their articles about Minneapolis that this is not true at all. Angie Craig, that clip you played there, she's in a tough primary against like a literal sociopath, Peggy Flanagan, who, whether it's trans rights, she'll wear a trans t-shirt. If she needs to suck up to the Somalis, she'll don a burqa. You know, it doesn't really matter. And when it comes to the narrative, the vice president was absolutely right to point out, and the media will not lean into this, the reality that you look at, yes, there's been problems in other cities. We won't deny that. But there's been, you know, blue cities, but there hasn't been mass chaos to the same degree that we've seen in Minneapolis. And then finally, on that last clip you point out, you know this from being in local news, like when local officials say something, yes, you don't have to necessarily trust what they say right off the bat. So you go look it up yourself. You know, you news organizations have a way of looking up people's criminal records.
Curtis, I'm going to ask your opinion. I'm going off the fly here. I wasn't going to bring this up today. There was a shooting at my son's high school yesterday, inner city Dallas, a shooting. A Hispanic kid in the parking lot of the school killed another Hispanic kid. Allegedly, it was an accident, shot him in the chest. The kid's dead. There's no national media coverage of this. If they really care about Hispanics, about minorities, why wouldn't they be talking about Hispanic on Hispanic crime or black on black crime? They're so focused on ICE. We have kids killing each other in the streets. That was at my kid's high school. I have not seen any coverage of that on a national level. You?
No, and that goes into perpetual victimhood. And that would also require the left to admit that in a lot of these cities and school districts, they've been run by raging leftists for multiple lifetimes at this point. So because admitting that would lead them to say, well, we've been engaged in institutional capture. And as a result of that, these cities and schools have not really gone anywhere. So that would lead people to consider maybe we should let other people try running the show for once. And we can't have that. And also, the other thing that's not being covered is the angel moms and the families that have been affected by illegal immigrant crime. Instead, Grant, anytime someone brings this up, the rare time a good conservative is on cable news, they'll get hit with illegal immigrants commit less crime than native-born citizens. I mean, that's a complete joke because you think about it, all illegal immigrant crime should not be happening, period. So those are all people that should still be alive that aren't. And this goes to the left's refusal to accept and value life. On this day, we mark the March for Life. And you think about somebody like Tom Homan, he gets very passionate in talking about how gangs and coyotes have taken advantage of migrant children. Where is all the coverage of that, of the border agents showing compassion for those 5-year-olds dumped in the desert?
They don't care about them. I really do believe that. And it's not even hard for me to say anymore. They don't care. All they want to do is spur controversy and chaos and try to make President Trump and conservatives look bad. I'm going to run one more clip for you, Curtis, to get your response, because apparently this bias has now made its way into sports as well. This is a reporter interviewing Amanda Anisimova, who is a great American tennis player. Listen to the question.
I've been asking a lot of the American players just how it feels to play under the American flag right now, and I'm curious how you feel.
Yeah, I mean, I was born in America, so I'm always proud to represent my country, and yeah, a lot of us are doing really well.
And just to clarify a little, I mean, sort of in the context of the last year of everything that's been happening in the U.S., does that complicate that feeling at all?
I don't think that's relevant.
I mean, what a joke, Curtis. You Media Research Center found that clip for us. Your thoughts?
Yeah, that's a reporter with The Athletic, which was kind of its own nice sports media thing behind a paywall. And then guess what? The New York Times bought it. Oh, my gosh. And you can tell now that all makes sense. The soy boy that they sent there, his tone of questioning, the fact that he kept hammering away at it. It's down in Australia, which I think the people of Australia maybe the question should be asked of the Australian players because of what their country has done and their refusal to protect their Jewish citizens. When it comes to America, I mean, she's very grateful, and she was kind of shocked, but I'm glad she kept her attitude, just kind of shrugging her shoulders, which is what we should all do.
She didn't take the bait, and that's good news. Curtis Houck, it's great having you on the program. You guys do such great work over there at Curtis Houck on X, and at Newsbusters is the organization as well. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Grant. Take care.
Absolutely. So all of that pushing the lies, the encouraging the chaos, drumming up, ginning up, the outrage. This is a result of all of that. Take a look at this. That, folks, is at the Minneapolis airport. Now, you think they're garnering any support as they bother travelers who are just trying to make a plane? No, of course not. 100 people were arrested there. They lined them all up, and they arrested them. As well they should. Now, remember, they also arrested those church disruptors, the ones that stormed that church in Minneapolis. This was one of the guys they arrested, by the way, which is so fitting.
So, you know, Pam Bondi, you want to come and arrest me? You want to come and give me charges? So be it. And for all the people giving me death threats, threatening my life, kill me. Go ahead, kill me. Because you know what? As Fred Hampton said, you can kill the revolutionary, but you can't kill the revolution.
Well, guess what? They got you. You asked for it. Pam Bondi and her henchmen came for you. But they're not really henchmen. They're law enforcement officers who are just enforcing the law and arresting you for going in and literally blowing a lid off of a church service, which is illegal. I want to bring in now to discuss all of this J6 political prisoner and now Republican congressional candidate in Florida. My good friend, John Strand, is back. John, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me on, Grant. Great to be with you.
John, you know, I thought of you because I wanted to make this parallel. I think of what the left did to us, really you. I say us as if I'm on your team, but I didn't go nearly what you went through, thrown in solitary confinement and held for a year after J6. We're not going to treat these people arrested like that, are we?
No. Nor should we.
Yeah. And that is the bottom line. I mean, let me play a clip. Roll cut 29 for me, guys.
The FBI came out of their way to Oregon to arrest my husband for 4 counts of walking on the grouse. Now, I believe there was some other things they were charging him felonies with, but it wasn't even enough to arrest him. It was worth a fine maybe, but not that. Anyway, they took him away right then. He was mistreated in the sheriff's jail there in Washington County, basically left naked on a concrete floor in a little concrete cell, no water, no food for 24 hours.
John, that's the wife of a J6er who told that story. I don't think that goon who was challenging Bondi to arrest her is going to be lying naked on a concrete floor anywhere, as he should not be. John, as you just said, what should happen to them that go into churches like this and disrupt and all of the other chaos they're creating?
Well, Grant, justice should happen. That is the expectation and the demand of the American people. That is our birthright, liberty and justice for all. That's what we believe in, and that's what this country was built on. The problem is we are not seeing equal justice under the law. Americans' skin crawls at double standards and unfairness. So the egregious treatment of the DOJ, the regime under Biden that destroyed many lives and mistreated me and that woman you just showed and many others, it's disgusting, it's abhorrent. But our reaction is not to say you should treat these folks storming a church, which apparently, according to CNN, is peaceful protest. But if you storm the Capitol, it's a deadly insurrection. The contrast here, again, the double standards, the hypocrisy. This is what makes our skin crawl as Americans. So we want to see equal justice under the law. We want to see law and order in every state in this union. Again, that is our birthright, our expectation, and we demand that that be upheld, because without law and order, Grant, civilization crumbles.
Yeah. I've got another clip for you. This one comes from ABC News, and I find it ripe with hypocrisy, just as you spelled out the other examples there. If you could, for me, guys behind the glass, roll cut 15 for me.
The obtained memo from May shows that ICE agents could enter a suspected person's home without a judicial warrant, instead giving administrative authorization. According to the memo, Form I-205, or the warrant of removal/deportation, can be drafted and signed by an ICE official instead of a neutral party like a judge or a magistrate. Experts say it could mean less accountability and more mistakes.
Talk about due process. Okay. Yeah. But You didn't get any. There was no outrage on the due process for you or accountability and mistakes on behalf of the DOJ. There was no ABC News reporters trying to help you out.
Yeah, the only thing that you're going to get from the fake news, Grant, is fake sympathy and fake compassion that is a total inversion of what those things are supposed to mean. So like you've done a great job showing tonight, the media is portraying ICE actions, ICE law enforcement, to be abusing people. Meanwhile, you have radical leftist protesters who are literally storming a church, violating private property and terrorizing people in worship to try to make their point that we shouldn't uphold the law, we shouldn't have border control and sovereignty and standards related to who's illegally allowed to be in the country. So Americans see through this, and we're sick and tired of the lies, the hypocrisy, and cruelty. Or mercy to the wolf is cruelty to the sheep. So why aren't they still talking about Laken Riley and Jocelyn Nungary and truly innocent people who have literally been murdered because of illegal alien crime? And they're not calling for law and order to be upheld to protect American citizens. They just want to have the right to storm a church and cause a bunch of ruckus and make their point and say, oh, we're the compassionate people here. It's absurd. So America's not buying it.
I'm not going to say this just because you become a buddy of mine. That is part of it too, though. But this is the kind of common sense straight talk that I believe we need in the United States Congress. John Strand, you're running for Congress. Where can people find you real quick? Give the address so people can help you out.
Absolutely. Join the fight at johnstrand.com. The mission here is to reclaim the republic. We need a constitutional reset. And Grant, it's simple. I'm running to restore courage, common sense, and Judeo-Christian values back into government so that we can actually end fraud, waste, and abuse like what we're seeing here and deliver on what Americans actually need, which is security, law and order, affordability, and accountability. We need accountability back in the government, Grant. We are going to bring that at johnstrand.com.
I know you'll be sincere in that endeavor, 100%. John, thank you for coming on tonight.
Always a pleasure. God bless you, Grant.
Absolutely, you too. So you want to see the absolute lunacy of how it unfolds. I want you to take a look at this. This is my buddy Ben Berkwam, who goes to an anti-ICE meeting at a library in Baltimore, Maryland. Watch what happens to him.
I'm going to ask you to step out, and then we're going to have a discussion.
I'll sit.
I'm going to ask you to step out.
I'll stay.
So that we can have a discussion.
Right, but then you just close the door and say I can't come in.
The two media that you see in the back represent the MAGA movement, the Trump movement, and by our own security.
She's talking about MAGA media.
You cannot video. We're going to continue this meeting without being disrupted by Trump. We will not be disrupted by the Trump movement tonight. No recording. Trust me.
What the hell is wrong with you?
Fascists out now. 100%. Fascists out now. I totally agree. No fascists.
No, y'all have somewhere else outside. We'll be here.
It's a public forum.
Private event. It's a private event.
So you have. Excuse me. Please don't touch. Please don't touch my stuff. Please don't touch my stuff. Please don't touch me. Please don't touch me.
We've got immigrants.
So
he's trying to photograph.
I am not. I'm not. I have not looked for any immigrants. Ma'am, this is Trump derangement syndrome in full force right there. Well, you were trying to attack me, ma'am. If no one's illegal, wait a second. If no one's illegal, why can't I be here?
Recorded tonight by our people and submitted to City Hall. Thank you. There are a few rules to make sure things run smoothly. We ask that everyone try to keep their testimonies brief. Didn't you just say you asked
all, to destroy families, to rip people apart, to shoot American citizens in the head.
So apparently they're canceling the event because they can't handle us being here. Excuse me, why are you touching me? I'm asking you to. Yeah, but you don't have a right to touch me.
Everyone's leaving.
Right, and I'm leaving with everyone.
No, go this way. It is time to go.
I got it. Wait a second. So this is what happens in Baltimore. This is what. Whoa! Why is nobody else being treated like this? Excuse me. Why is nobody else being treated like this? Now they're gonna start the meeting back up without us in there.
Who invited you?
I thought no one's illegal. No one is.
Out of my building!
Wow. This is,
I asked you.
this is a public forum. Excuse me, ma'am. Excuse me, ma'am.
Nice.
That's a library. Now, Ben Berkwam handled that with grace and professionalism, something Ben is great at. But here's the real deal. They don't want it videotaped because they want to hide what they're saying from the American public. If you believe in what you're saying, then there should be no problems putting it on TV. I promise you, you can come to any meeting that I form and you can come videotape it because I believe in everything we're saying or talking about. You could hear a pre-meeting for this show between me and my producers. We talk about reality and what we believe in. No secrets. All right, up next, a new year means new financial goals, like making sure your savings are secure and diversified. It's time to talk to someone from Birch Gold Group. There are forces pushing the dollar lower and gold higher, which is why they believe every American should own physical gold. So until January 30th, if you're a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility, start the process. Just text America to the number 989898. Birch Gold can take an existing IRA, roll it into a gold IRA if you're still eligible for a rebate of up to $10,000. Yes, you are still eligible for that. Text America to the number 989898. Claim your eligibility today. All right, Gavin Newsom went to the World Economic Forum and did nothing but whine. It's next.
When surprise breakdowns happen, American Home Shield will be there to fix or replace parts of the systems and appliances you rely on every day. They help protect your time and money by connecting you with qualified pros and helping pay for covered repairs or replacements. AHS offers flexible and affordable plans for every home. Sign up today and get $200 off select plans with code AHS200. Visit AHS.com or call 833-PLAN-AHS.
Hi, I'm Caleb, and this is my story. I was born with osteogenesis imperfecta, or brittle bone disease. I have broken my bones almost 200 times, and I have had 11 surgeries. But I didn't let that stop me. I love to bike ride, climb, race, and I'm learning how to stand and walk. But I can only do all of this because of generous people like you and Shriners Hospitals for Children.
And for the past 100 years, Shriners Children's has become family to millions of kids. But it's only possible because of people like you.
Shriners Hospitals for Children is only able to provide this world-class, life-changing medical care because of the generous gifts of people just like you.
Because of you, I can ride my bike. I can play basketball. Because of people like you, I can play the trombone. I can smile.
Will you send your love to the rescue today?
When you go online to loveshriners.org, you'll help make all of this possible for kids like me. Like me. Like me. When you say yes to giving just $19 a month, only 63 cents a day, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a reminder of all the kids you're helping every day.
Your gift, no matter how small, can help a child today.
This is your moment to make a difference.
When you pick up your phone, I know you have it right there, and call to give. You're helping kids like me. Thank you. Thank you.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Please call or go online now. If operators are busy, please call again or give right away at loveshriners.org.
Your gift makes a difference. Thank you for giving.
A heart attack? Do they have life insurance?
No.
But we have life insurance. John.
I'm trying to find something we can afford.
Fortunately, in only a few minutes, SelectQuote found John a $500,000 policy for only $29 a month. And his wife Anne a $500,000 policy for only $21 a month. Go to SelectQuote.com now and get the insurance your family needs
at a price you can afford. SelectQuote. We shop, you save.
Welcome back, everyone. I want to discuss the fall of Gavin Newsom. The governor of California has descended into an abyss of nobody cares about you anymore. He goes to the World Economic Forum. He misses a speech because Trump says, no, you know what? You don't get to speak here. And then he gets his little day on the stage, just having a discussion. But that was after he said world leaders were on their knees for President Trump. Quite a little outrageous comment, to say the least. Well, he doubled down on that today. Watch this.
And they're the new Trump signature series knee pads. Yeah, and they are available online. I told you the last one sold out. And I just want to sort of... It's a serious moment. It actually, we laugh. Anyway, these are available and in bulk, too.
But I want to read you a couple of things the U.S. government has said about you in the last 20...
Okay. So knee pads, get on your knees. I thought they were supposed to be the party of gay pride. What is the gay pride contingent to the Democrat Party? Think about all of that. I can tell you that one of the most prominent gay leaders in the Republican Party, Scott Bessent, basically making fun of Gavin Newsom now. Watch this.
I think Gavin Newsom may be cracking up with some of these things he's saying. I think he may be in over his hairdo. And being on the national stage is very different than being governor of California with no signature achievements. But to say strange things like President Trump is a Tyrannosaurus Rex, what the hell does that mean? I could say Gavin Newsom is a brontosaurus with a brain the size of a walnut. And if he brought the knee pads, maybe that was for his meeting with Alex Soros. I don't know.
So this is a family show, but you put it together back home. Just maybe Bessent's onto something. I want to bring in now to discuss this host of the Morning Answer. Jennifer Horn is back with us out in Los Angeles. Jen, welcome.
Thank you, Grant. Great to see you. And did you have on your bingo card this year that Scott Bessent would be a gangsta? I mean, come on.
I did not, and I did not think that he'd be talking about Gavin Newsom using knee pads while hanging out with George Soros' son, Alex. So, but this really signifies a downfall of the governor of your state. What do you make of all of this?
Oh, my gosh. I think it's really interesting. You actually hit on exactly what ran through my brain at first. And that is apparently the guy who championed himself as the king of gay rights after standing up and parading around San Francisco looking for gay marriage when he was mayor of San Francisco now thinks it's fine to make fun of gay people. I mean, he was calling out Scott Bessent. You heard him make some comments off color about Lindsey Graham and these world leaders. It seems that it's interesting that he's turned his back on that crowd. But I think, Grant, that what you see from Gavin Newsom is a guy who is desperate. He is desperate for President Trump to talk about him, to notice him. He's like a pick-me guy. And I think what you're seeing is him implode because he doesn't know what he stands for. He is a guy who is a shapeshifter. He has no moral base. He has no integrity in his leadership. And he says what he needs to say to get to the next job. And it's so disingenuous.
You and I have talked a lot about one of the failures of the Democrat Party is just the way they act like betas and whiners. Now, I'm not going to say Gavin Newsom is a beta male. I actually don't look at him like that. But he certainly is a whiner, and maybe he's moving in that direction. I want you to look at this response from him after his speech was canceled at the WEF.
What the hell are they even talking about? But it's indicative, I think, of America. For those of you who are not American, it gives you a sense of what we're up against and what's happening across my country and what happened here in Davos. I was going to speak last night. It was a well-established event at the USA House. Simple conversation, discussion. After Trump's speech, they made sure that I didn't. They made sure it was canceled. And that's what's happening in the United States of America.
I don't think so, Jennifer.
I think there wasn't one tear shed over Gavin Newsom not speaking at the World Economic Forum. I'm pretty sure all the elites had plenty of martinis to sip. I don't think they missed him. But look, Gavin Newsom and Scott Bessent said it best. Gavin Newsom has zero achievements. He has nothing to run on. Everything in California has gotten worse in his 8 years in office. He admitted, by the way, on that very stage to giving over $1 billion in federal money to illegal immigrants. That means that the state that's already in deficit mode is now going to have to pay that money back. He's a disaster, and he has nothing important to say.
I'm glad you brought that up, Jen, because why don't you listen about his great accomplishment here, cut 5.
Do I believe in universal health care? Yes, regardless of pre-existing conditions, ability to pay, and your status. I campaigned on that, and we delivered on that, and I'm proud of that. We're one of 16 states to provide care to people regardless of their immigration status. By the way, we have universal care in emergency rooms, and you pay the price on the back end, at least Americans, for that, regardless of your immigration status.
Jen, you're right there in Los Angeles. How's that all working out for you?
You know, I talked to Bill Asaley, the U.S. Attorney for the Central District of California, on the radio show a couple of days ago, and he said Gavin Newsom will be paying that money back. And this guy is under investigation for fraud. So not only has he run the state into the ground and made people leave in droves, so much so that U-Haul has run out of trucks, but now he's going to be under investigation for all of this fraud and for all of the federal money that he's misspent. Yet he wants the people to trust him. And what I'm hearing more than anything are that people, even Democrats, look at Stephen A. Smith, have called him out for treasonous words against the president and our allies at the World Economic Forum. This was not his best trip. He may have made his funny joke with his knee pads, but I don't think this gained him any favor with anybody back at home.
Well, no. It's interesting because you said, he is desperate to be noticed by President Trump. Before I let you go, Jen Horn has been noticed by President Trump. He's tweeting out your interviews on CNN where you're taking it to the left. And so I would urge everyone to follow you. President Trump is basically watching you at Jennifer Horn on X. And that was pretty cool, him tweeting that out, Jennifer.
Made my whole week. I say made the whole year so far, Grant. It was pretty incredible.
Well, there you go. Jen Horn, always great to see you. Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, folks, our body language and behavior segment is next with our expert, Greg Hartley. Boy, there was a lot to go through this week.
Minnesota's headlines are getting wild. Tim Walz and Ilhan Omar are being accused of massive fraud, and it's so bad, all you can do is laugh at this point. So from Real America's Music, the label that brought you the #1 hit, Anthem of the Free, comes a brand new song from singer-songwriter Natasha Owens, The Somali Waltz. Let's make the music industry mad and run this to #1. Scan the QR code or search The Somali Waltz on iTunes and buy it right now. The Somali Waltz, available everywhere.
Half protection is not enough. Using just an antivirus online is also not enough. Get better online protection with NordVPN. It will encrypt your online traffic, protect you from malware, phishing, and stop annoying ads. Get NordVPN now.
This is Fubo. It's a better way to watch ESPN and other top sports networks. Plus, get coverage of your local teams all year long. Start watching at FuboTV.com.
Joining us is Dr. Drew from the Wellness Company with advice for dealing with seasonal colds and flu. Doctor?
Cold and flu season is here, and every year you or a loved one gets sick. Your doctor can't see you. Waiting in a crowded urgent care is brutal. This is a particularly bad cold and flu season, and it's why doctors suggest every family needs an emergency medical kit. Your medical emergency kit is filled with essential prescriptions. It includes antibiotics like generic Z-Pak to get well faster, amoxicillin for pneumonia, strep throat, ear infections, plus prescriptions for nausea and UTIs, and even ivermectin. It's easy. Just match your symptoms to the prescription in your guidebook or call the telemedicine doctor standing by. Take your medication early and feel better faster. Having a medical emergency kit is like having an urgent care in your home. No waiting to see a doctor, no lines at the pharmacy.
Smart advice. We've shared the website and discount code below to save viewers $45. Order now and your kit will be rushed to your door. Thank you, doctor.
I'm a J6er. I spent 1,143 days in prison.
I'm a J6er, and I spent 3 months in jail and about a year in prison.
I spent 4 years out of an 18-year sentence in prison.
J6ers have been smeared and defamed by the media, persecuted by the government, and treated like terrorists.
In reality, J6ers are patriotic men and women, mothers, fathers, sisters, and brothers from all walks of life.
Stand in the Gap was founded to stand in the gap for J6ers working to rebuild their lives after being incarcerated.
And we need your help.
For just $10 or more, you're helping these patriots get mental, physical, and spiritual help.
Please scan the QR code or go to j6support.com to donate $10 or more to support these American patriots.
Go now to j6support.com and donate today.
Did you know that thousands of authors across the country have written books and published them with Page Publishing? If you've written a book, Page Publishing can help you through the process. We cut through the confusion of the publishing world to make it easy for you.
Call or scan for your free writer's guide today.
Welcome back, everyone. Time now for our body language segment. I want to bring in right now host of the Behavior Panel on YouTube. He's a former military interrogator, body language and behavior expert. Greg Hartley is back. Greg, good to see you. Welcome, my friend.
Thanks, Grant. Always a pleasure.
All right. You want to start with Don Lemon? Let's roll him from this week's church disruption.
They're getting the operation together again. This is an operation that is secret, that they invited folks out. Can't tell you what is going to happen, but you're going to watch it live unfold here on the Don Lemon Show.
All right, so the question was, did he help organize it? Did he help instigate it? Do you see anything here? He claims that he was just an observer.
Well, he's certainly not surprised by where he's at. Let me tell you, I think the best thing out of the clips you picked tonight are certainty and uncertainty. When we talk about people looking certain, that's a power. So I can teach you something tonight you can use as we go through this. Look at his fingers extended and separated. Watch him. He doesn't raise his brow at all. We say when a person raises their brow, they're asking for approval. Hey, do you get what I'm saying? Do you believe me? Do you understand? But we don't see any of that. We see him telling at a heightened whisper, which we know is secrecy. He shows energy. He shows secrecy. He's not surprised by anything that's about to happen, in my opinion. This is clearly certainty about what he's saying. He's got large illustrators. That's also an indicator of certainty.
All right, interesting. That's good advice because you could take that literally into the conference room at work and get some insight about that. These are data points that we can use. Scott Bessent today said that Gavin, well, no, we what am I doing? How did I get that? Yeah, this is Don Lemon after the protest. Sorry, my fault.
So I had no affiliation to that organization. I didn't even know they were going to this church until we followed them there. We were there chronicling protests. Once the protest started in the church, we did an act of journalism. So why don't you talk to the actual person who is in charge of the organization and whose idea it was to have the protest at the church before you start blaming me for stuff.
Greg?
So here's uncertainty. Look at him very carefully. See that brow rising? He's asking you to believe him and understand him. His hands are gone. All of his illustrators are gone. You can see all of that in him. You can see that he's got a lip compression, withheld information at the end. And watch his blink rate, which is an autonomic response to stress, increases. He denies any affiliation. This is exactly the opposite of what we saw when he was telling us a secret.
It's fascinating, really, because I think he knew. And what I believe what you're saying is the indications are that he knew exactly what was going to go down.
Well, look, Grant, you can be certain and wrong, but people who are telling something that's not true are often uncertain because their brain knows the truth and their mouth is trying to say something else. So there's a guy named Audred Bray in I believe, Switzerland did a study and showed that large illustrators mean the person is being more honest. Lack of illustrators is a good indicator that you're not being honest.
All right. It could just mean you're also Italian, like me, or no?
I talk with my hands more than anybody I know. People say that you could tie my hands and I couldn't talk.
That's so funny. All right. Brandon Gill, congressman from Texas, questioned Jack Smith yesterday, the special prosecutor, on display. Let's roll Brandon Smith cut 4, please.
You think the Speaker of the House is a flight risk? You think he's going to hop on a plane and leave the country?
No. What I was trying to explain is, with respect to a non-disclosure order, the risks aren't necessarily associated with the subscriber to the phone. They're the risks to the investigation.
What do you think here?
Well, if you watch him, when he's controlling the narrative, when he's saying what I was saying was, you don't see any brow movement. Again, he's pretty quiet. But when he starts to get to a point that's contentious, watch his brow rises for understanding or whatever. And you watch him moving his fingers. He's got lack of confidence. His fingers are not separated. And you also can tell that he goes down into his left to an internal voice to think of what he should say and how he should approach it before he moves to the next step. It tells you he's on the griddle. He knows he's in a spot where he has to be cautious what he says next to not frustrate Mr. Gill.
Interesting. All right. At this hearing, a buddy of mine, former Green Beret Ivan Raiklin, who is dubbed our Secretary of Retribution on this program. He was instrumental in so many things, including coming up with the alternate electors idea for President Trump in 2020. All these people know who he is, including the Metropolitan Police Department former officer Fanone, who was a star witness for the Unselect Committee, the devious Democrats. Watch this interaction between these two. I can't wait to get your thoughts on this, Greg.
Behind you. Do something. Why should I? I'm communicating with you and trying to calm you down, right? Look at your face. You can't even control yourself. You can't even be a man. Trust me, I'm using a lot of You see how many people are constraining you? Come get me. Look at me. Total control over my mind and body. Total control over my mind and body.
Greg, you're a military interrogator. You think that Green Beret had ever done any interrogating before?
Well, whether he's done interrogating or not, I think he's probably been in harm's way a time or two. If you look at that chin thrust forward, his body's in harm's way. He's not afraid. He's demonstrating I'm not afraid. And even I would say the other guy, when he crosses his arms, this is a good example of why body language can be misconstrued. Crossing his arms doesn't necessarily mean that he's blocking you out and afraid. You can see both of these men could get into a fist fight in the right spot.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Ivan, not a fan of Fanone. I think Ivan would probably kick Fanone's butt, but Fanone's no pansy. I'm not going to say that. His politics may be pansy-esque, but I think he'd be, somewhat of a formidable foe to go toe-to-toe with. But this was interesting to watch two guys like this stand off. Clearly, they don't like each other.
And the interesting piece is if you watch your friend, he's under absolute control. He has his frontal lobe intact, so he's not going to make a stupid swing of a mistake. The guy who's red-faced is fighting off fight or flight. You're more liable to make a mistake, and a guy who's an SF guy is most likely going to have a whole hell of a lot of control. Those guys are pretty cadenced.
Well, I made the point. If he loses it like that inside the halls of Congress, imagine what happened on January 6th and dealing with the crowds there. Probably not good for Fanone. One more. I got a little extra time today, so I'm going to play one more. Okay. I thought this was interesting. Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza on the interview after Indiana won the national championship game. I call him, look, I like him. I think he's a great player. I call him a little goofy, though. So take a look, Greg, and tell me what you think.
It's victory so sweet for everybody, for the entire Hoosier Nation, but also, it's super sweet to myself. I was a 2-star recruit coming out of high school. I got declined to walk on offer to the University of Miami. Full circle moment here, playing in Miami. for all the friends and family. I can't thank Coach Nettie enough, and Coach Whitmer and Coach Anna for taking a chance on me, and just give all the glory to God.
Whole lot of facial expressions, which we don't usually see from these kind of guys. But the other thing is, and the pads have something to do with it, because when you got pads, it limits your movement. But passion is up here. Excitement is up here. When your hands are down here being excited, that's what makes you think it looks goofy, along with the facial expressions. Yeah. So if he would raise his hands just this much, it would make a big difference.
I think this guy is very endearing. I like him. But I said, is there any chance you could tell, is he on the spectrum? And maybe that's why he's so smart at what he does, that he's got something going on that makes him a little more special than the next guy.
Well, there's no real body language I associate with being on the spectrum. However, I did do a show, some work for a documentary called Neurotypical, and the guy asked me, what did I notice about every person he showed on the spectrum? Low forehead involvement in communication, lack of uncertainty, lack of need to connect. The brow is the billboard of emotion. It's how we convey what we're thinking to other people, and we have a hard time controlling it. You've seen it earlier there, and he has little forehead movements, probably why you think that.
Yeah, interesting. Greg Hartley, as always, it's such a pleasure having you on. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.
And thank you. All right. Look, folks, if you want to check out Greg's website, readbodylanguage.com, and of course, the YouTube show, the Behavior Panel, check it out there as well. President Trump's Medicare administrator, Dr. Oz, has hit the streets and is uncovering even more fraud in Minnesota. That's next.
If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, ride your bike.
If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it.
If you're happy and you know it, smile big and bright.
Thousands of kids just like me are happy every day.
And it's all because of generous people like you who support Shriners Hospitals for Children every month.
All you have to do is call the number on your screen or go online to loveshriners.org right now with your monthly gift.
Because of people like you, Shriners Hospitals for Children is able to make an everyday miracle happen for kids like me.
If you're happy and you know it, dance around. If you're happy and you know it, play a song.
If you're happy and you know it, then your face will surely show it.
If you're happy and you know it, take your shot.
And when you call or go online right now to donate $19 a month or more, we'll send you this adorable Love to the Rescue blanket as a thank you and a reminder of all the smiles you're bringing to kids' faces every day.
Will today be the day you send your love to the rescue?
When you call the number on your screen right now and give as little as $19 a month, just 63 cents a day, you'll be making a life-changing difference for a child, just like Sarah.
Your monthly gift today could change your life forever.
Because of you.
We are happy and we know it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Please call or go online right now to give. If operators are busy, please wait patiently or go to loveshriners.org right away.
President Trump ended the nightmare for almost all January 6 defendants when he delivered on his promise to pardon those who suffered through our two-tiered system of justice. But there are still 12 January 6 defendants whose fights are far from over. These J6ers still face overwhelming legal battles. Scan the QR code now or visit j6support.com to help stand in the gap push for pardons for these patriots. Many have lost their jobs, homes, and life savings due to prolonged incarceration, and even though they've had their sentences commuted, they still cannot vote, possess firearms, receive any military pensions and retirement benefits, obtain health care coverage for themselves and their families, or secure employment. Stand in the Gap is renewing our Justice Restoration Fund to advocate for full pardons for these patriots. Please visit j6support.com or scan the QR code to support our fight for justice for these January 6 defendants. Your gift today helps us partner with reputable attorneys and legal advisors to ensure they have a fair chance at winning their cases and having their rights restored. Please donate today to let these J6ers know that they are not forgotten. Scan the QR code or visit j6support.com to make a tax-deductible donation to our Justice Restoration Fund.
All All right, welcome back, everyone. So all of you know Dr. Oz is the great TV host. You know he's also the head of Medicare and Medicaid now under President Trump. So he apparently is saying that he found more fraud in Minnesota in the way of a warehouse. Watch this.
Behind me is the Griggs Midway building. It looks like a factory because it was a factory, a linen factory. They made cloth back there, converted to an office building. You'll notice all those little signs there, and there's tons of little businesses inside. Roughly 400 Medicaid businesses were started in the building behind me over the last several years. They generated about $380 million of billing that you, the taxpayer, were putting up. That means roughly each business had $1 million of billing.
You know, it is amazing. Like, when was the last time the head of Medicare or Medicaid would put together a video like this as such a great communicator? President Trump made it clear that he was going to put people in leadership positions that could communicate to the American people. When you look at Dr. Oz and Pete Hegseth and so many others, Kash Patel at the FBI, all of them able to communicate a message. Now, he uncovered a lot. Here he is again. Watch this as the protesters show up.
So you'll notice there's already a watch group that's observing us. They had people in the cars taking pictures of us. They're calling around trying to find out what's going down. And I'll tell you, they don't have to, wonder. We're telling you, we're here to figure out why these folks are being defrauded, why the people who live in Minnesota aren't getting access to the care they deserve because it's been stolen. But the fact that you've got people behind me in cars concerned that we're even talking about this story should be something that worries you.
Absolutely. Think about it. In what office building do you get so upset that you have throngs of people coming out and starting to videotape you, follow you, unless inside that building something fishy's going on? Again, I'm sure there are more questions than answers, but I'm glad the questions are now starting to be asked, and this is all starting to crumble on the Democrats. Up next, a Somali woman tells the world what it's like being Somali.
Joining us is Dr. Drew from the Wellness Company with advice for dealing with seasonal colds and flu. Doctor?
Cold and flu season is here, and every year you or a loved one gets sick. Your doctor can't see you. Waiting in a crowded urgent care is brutal. This is a particularly bad cold and flu season, and it's why doctors suggest every family needs an emergency medical kit. Your medical emergency kit is filled with essential prescriptions. It includes antibiotics like generic Z-Pak to get well faster, amoxicillin for pneumonia, strep throat, ear infections, plus prescriptions for nausea and UTIs, and even ivermectin. It's easy. Just match your symptoms to the prescription in your guidebook or call the telemedicine doctor standing by. Take your medication early and feel better faster. Having a medical emergency kit is like having an urgent care in your home. No waiting to see a doctor, no lines at the pharmacy.
Smart advice. We've shared the website and discount code below to save viewers $45. Order now and your kit will be rushed to your door. Thank you, doctor.
Don't kibble your dog.
Oh, hey, Dr. Marty.
Hey, Matt.
But what's wrong with this? It's premium stuff.